Hi, hello. So I forgot to record an intro for this movie review. So this is your intro. I'm just going about talking about the new My Hero Academia movie, the second one, that I finally bought the DVD when it came out, and I finally saw it, and I really enjoyed it. Those wondering, because I know there are going to be some people asking, this sweatshirt that I bought came from Hot Topic. It's really comfortable, really cozy. Starting off with this movie, which is called Heroes Rising. But overall, I really like this movie. I think I like it a little bit more than the first one, only a little bit. They're both on equal footing for me because the first one is really good. I like how they step up. Deku and All Might work together, and then you have Melissa in that one, and then you have like all of the characters, all of Class 1A in their cool little like fancy outfits. And in this one you have Bakugo and Deku teaming up, unbelievably as that sounds, and you have Katsuma and Maho. And they were adorable, and then you have, like, all the other characters trying to do their hardest. They all have their provisional license. They gotta fight this villain who is, like, a candidate for his body is compatible with All for One, which is scary shit. I liked this movie. I liked a lot of, the music was really good. It had the classic My Hero music. End fight, the final boss was really good. I know a lot of people don't like when they have that choir-esque singing type of music during a very intense pivotal fight. I like that kind of stuff, so that's just me personally. I liked how we got to see an equal amount of all of the characters. Hagakure, Mina, Oyama, they got a really good amount of screen time, I felt, for this movie. I liked that, because in the first My Hero movie, like, some of the people are not there. Same with Sero and I think a couple of the other Class 1A characters. They're not in the first one very much. In this one, it's all of Class 1A, and they all get the other like supporting characters kind of also got a chance to shine in this movie, and I really like that because we don't know much about them, and we're not going to know much about them unless you put them in a big chunk of the movie. The one with the multiple arms, he's cool. I guess we got to see a lot more of him in this movie, and I like that. Or Sugar High. I don't remember his name, and I feel so bad, but he was really good in this film. They all got to have their own, like, shining moment when they were fighting Nine at the end to protect Katsuma and his sister, which I thought was so cute. Uraraka was teaming up with Sero. That was badass. Shoji and Ojiro, earphone jack. All three of them got a chance to shine together. And then you had Ida and Kirishima and Froppy and Todoroki were working together to stop that like beast man monster. That was so cool. Todoroki tries to freeze him, and he has Ida's help, and Kirishima's like being a shield for him. So Todoroki freezes the guy. He ends up being frozen a little bit himself, but he freezes the guy from the inside out, which is so gross and gruesome, but so like cool. I'm just like, yeah, Todoroki, you go! Saying that a lot of like, this is a superhero show at the end of the day because they all have quirks, but they all have superpowers. The one thing I like about My Hero, Deku kind of reminds me of Captain America in a way because Deku came from nothing. He had no quirk. All he ever wanted to do was be a hero, and he just kept getting made fun of by Bakugo and bullied, and he didn't really think he could ever be a hero because of he had no quirk. And then All Might gave him that chance, gave him that opportunity to prove to everyone that he could be a hero. Even though he just inherited a quirk, he still really tries his best. He works really hard. Even in this movie and in season 4, he can only do 20%. But when he needs to protect someone, he will go the distance, as Hercules says. He will go the extra mile to protect people. Whether it be Koda, whether it be Eri-chan, whether it be Katsuma and his sister, he will go that extra mile. He doesn't know Katsuma and his sister. He doesn't know them, but Katsuma, all he ever wants to do is be a hero. Like, he wants to be like his dad, but he wants to be a hero. And Deku shows him that you can be a hero no matter what, but Katsu has a quirk. He has cell regeneration, I think. Like, he can regenerate people's cells, which I think is a really cool quirk, and if he never gets to be a hero, he could be a hero in the eyes of saving patients in like the hospital. And so I think there's no doubt he will be a hero. What I realized at the end of this movie is that what All Might is to Deku, Deku is to Katsuma. All of the things that All Might teaches Deku, great mentor, this great father-like figure, this guy who gave me a chance, Katsuma thinks the same thing of Deku. He thinks of him as this great hero that's giving him a shot, that's telling him you can be a hero no matter what, because look at me, Katsuma, I had no quirk, and I was given a chance. You have a quirk, and we're gonna give you a chance. And at that end, where all the other Class 1A people are down. They're down for the count. I'm freaking out. Katsuma's sister stands up to 9. Don't touch my brother! And Katsuma's just like, no, I'll sacrifice myself. And he just stands up and he runs over to his sister, like, I'll protect you. I'll give up my quirk. I'm just like, Katsuma, no! He's willing to sacrifice himself so that no one else on the island can get hurt, so that the heroes don't get hurt. But Deku's like, no, we're not gonna give you up. Because we're just not. That's not who we are. We protect people. We'll risk ourselves before we risk the population, the people. And we got to really see more of Bakugo and Deku's dynamic. They've always been rivals, but I feel like Deku really has an admiration for Bakugo. And I think Bakugo deep down knows that Deku will probably be number 1, just because Deku, I think, kind of deserves it, because he came from nothing. He had no quirk, and he didn't just get this quirk and magically be the best, like, superhero ever. Got the quirk and worked his ass off to get to the point where he is now, where he can not just use 20% of his power, but 100%. He would use his power only like 5%, 2%, and it would break a finger, break an arm, break his leg. And now to the point where he's gotten to 20% and he breaks no bones, and he got to 100% and he came out okay. I was not saying that Bakugo hasn't, because Bakugo has. He had been using his quirk and those like grenade things on his arm to master and really use his quirk. Everyone in Class 1A has worked so hard, and I think Bakugo is slowly starting to see or maybe realize that Deku is his equal and that Deku is just as powerful as him. Deku might beat him one day. I think Bakugo is slowly starting to realize that, but I think he's now, after he learned about Deku getting one for all, I think he's starting to see that Deku kind of deserved it and that Deku is working really hard. And he even admits that in the movie. He's like, you're doing a good job, make that power your own. So I think he's starting to realize that this is now Deku's power and that Deku will be great with it. When this movie was out in theaters, I saw a little like picture of both Deku and Bakugo with like the one for all type of power around them. Now, does Bakugo get some of Deku's powers? That's what's going on, and sure enough, it is. They're giving it their all to protect these two kids. I'm like sitting here just like not sure what's gonna happen. I think Bakugo has like a broken rib and maybe both of his arms are broken. I'm just like, now you know what Deku went through all those times. Getting them kissed by a recovery girl, which Bakugo has to experience, and I don't think he likes it. Also, he doesn't remember anything that happened with the fight. So all that admiration and probably all that, like, support he could have given Deku was just kind of, like, gone. And I'm like, okay. We know a little bit about One for All. We know a little bit about it, but not a whole lot. When All Might gave it to Deku, All Might still had a little bit, still had some of the power in him, but Deku had it all. We didn't know if Deku giving it to Bakugo meant that Bakugo had a small portion of it and could still use it, while Deku could still use it. So there'd be two, like, one-for-alls running around out there. And he gives him some of his powers, and they just fight this beautiful, like, awesome boss battle fight with, like, this, like, choir type of music, ancestral type of, like, choir, angelic music playing. It impacts you and you're crying because you've seen how far both of them have come. You've seen how far they not just come in mastering their quirks, but also in their, like, friendship, how far they've come together, and they're just kicking ass, and they're both like Super Saiyans on crack. Deku's worried, because I'm worried too, because he's worried that since he transferred his power to Bakugo, maybe Bakugo got it permanently and now Deku doesn't have any power. Deku wakes up and All Might's there, telling All Might, being like, I gave some of my power to Bakugo, I don't think I have it anymore, and he's just so sad. And the first thing that comes to his mind is like he's worried about Kacchan, as always, because he's more concerned, like with Captain America, he's more concerned with the other person than himself. And All Might is just like, you were meant to have these powers. You saved these people. You saved so many people. You did what we wanted you to do. You did what you were supposed to do. You can rest now. But then we see that Deku still has the powers, and we see these like rainbow lights flash down on him like it's all the other holders. I feel like they saw the amount of self-sacrifice and risk Deku was willing to take to protect not only this island and its people, but these two children, to let him keep One for All. Keep it. So my question with that is, at the end of season 4, I believe it's at the end of season 4, or it's a preview for season 5, we see Deku freaking out. And we see some like little clip of all the previous holders of One for All. And my thing is, okay, so this must take place after season 4. If that's the case, did Deku giving some of his power to Bakugo and Bakugo not keeping it, but Deku gets it back again and still has it, did something like that cause him to have now some issues with the quirk now? There's something going on with this quirk that's affecting Deku. Now keep in mind, I haven't read any of the manga. I don't know anything that happens after season 4 and after this movie. The thing is, since I'm currently watching the show, I'd rather just watch and be surprised in the show than read the book. I love to read books, and so I think a part of me always goes to the book before the movie. But in that defense is the book usually comes before the movie. In this case, the show comes, well, the show didn't come before the manga, but I started the show before reading the manga. My kind of way of thinking, I don't want to read about it in the manga, then know it already happens. A part of me is not going to want to watch the show because I already know what happens, and I'd rather dedicate my time to watching something else and reading something else. There's so many stories and movies that I want to watch and books I want to read, so I have to really pick and choose things. But yeah, those were all of my thoughts on the second My Hero Academia movie. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you with another video very soon. Bye guys!